we got an interesting update on Celeste Rivas Hernandez case that somebody finna go to jail allegedly. Let's see what TMZ said in video and then read exactly what they wrote, because there's certain things y'all know I'm finna poke holes in and point out.
Who is about to get arrested in the case involving the death of Celeste Rivas, and it is not David. We know a lot. Let me download you on what we found out. So this week, there has been a witness before the grand jury, and he is intimately involved in David's life, the singer David, who the LAPD and the LA County DA says is a suspect in what they believe is the murder of Celeste Rivas. His name is Robert Morgenroth. Robert Morgenroth is the head of Mogul Vision, which is the label for David. But more than just the executive, the general manager, he is a manager. He manages David, and he is involved in David's day-to-day life and clearly knows a lot. So on Monday, Morgenroth was in the hallway with his lawyer, and there were people around, and they weren't sitting or standing right next to them, but the hallway echoes. And it was clear to people around there that there was a conversation that Morgenroth was having with his lawyer. And he was recounting what happened inside the grand jury room with the prosecutor in the case. The prosecutor, Beth Silverman, according to Morgenroth, here's what he said. She was very pushy on why I didn't call police. And then he went on to say that he said, in response to that he said, quote, I feel like I didn't have the responsibility to do that and just wanted to continue with the tour. Now, we do not know the context of this, but when the DA is grilling him about not calling the police, that has to involve a crime. You're not going to call the police because somebody didn't show up for work. You're going to call the police if there's some kind of crime involved, especially since this is a case involving what the DA says is a crime. So we don't know what Morgenroth knew that would require him, according to the DA, to pick up a telephone and call the police. But there's something. And again, he was involved in David's day-to-day life. So, okay, there is more. There is another manager in this same company.
Exclusive, David. Celeste Rivas, grand jury, uncooperative witness to be arrested. There's trouble in the grand jury room where witnesses are testifying about the circumstances surrounding Celeste Rivas' death because at least one witness is so uncooperative, she's about to be arrested, TMZ has learned. Here's the way it went down. Beth Silverman, the Deputy D.A. presenting the case in Los Angeles, came out into the hallway Wednesday afternoon and approached attorney Evan Janess. She represents Robert Morgenroth, who manages singer David. Silverman told Janess she was going to have the judge issue a body attachment to force a female witness to testify before the grand jury. It appears the female witness was a no-show, and visibly frustrated, Silverman said she would have authorities take the female witness into custody and bring her to the courtroom. We do not know who the female witness is, but it's interesting. She's represented by the same lawyer as Morgenroth, who spent around 3 days testifying before the grand jury. TMZ broke the story. Morgenroth was in a hallway on Monday telling his lawyer things got tense in the grand jury room when Deputy D.A. Silverman pressed him on why he didn't call the police. He didn't say what he knew, that he would make Silverman challenge him on not making that call. But he said he responded to her by saying he didn't think it was his duty and he was trying to keep David's tour going. It's unclear if the female witness has some connection to Morgenroth, but it all points to David, whom the DA and LAPD are treating as a suspect in what they say is a murder case of Celeste. But I got something for y'all. So they know who it is. TMZ know 100% who it is. It's the lady who runs the label with Buddy, the Morgenroth dude. So that's exactly who they're talking about because they're running that in conjunction. Why she's not going to show up? One, because she really doesn't have to. Two, when it's in secret and it's not in public, you don't really have to. So there's that part. Why am I trying to attach myself to this shit once y'all done already caught Buddy in the hallway, got his picture blasted all over the internet? You know the irreparable harm that's going to do to me? I could imagine the Morgenthau dude, basically, or Morgan Roth, pardon me, Morgan Roth dude, because I was watching, what the hell is that shit called? Winter Soldier and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The girl name was Morgan Roth. Anyway, no, Morgenthau, and his is Morgan Roth. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, bro, I'm not trying to bring myself down in no damn court for what? So y'all can paint me how y'all want to paint me, and now y'all got LA Times tipping off TMZ, giving TMZ exclusive shit that they didn't even find out. It was a LA Times article. So yeah, bro, I'm not trying to show up there unless you force me to be there. And it's one of the crazier parts because we find out that, remember when we was talking about Buddy? You know so much. You going on these podcasts. You talking to all these people. Well, Steve Fisher, the dude who done broke so much David news from being the private investigator, he got himself dragged up to court. And let's say he ain't like it. Roll it.
Done in the dark will come to the light. Tomorrow morning, I have been ordered to appear in the Los Angeles County Criminal Court for an order to show cause hearing for contempt. I was not served with a summons to appear in court. I was not given a complaint outlining the alleged contempt to respond to. There is no case number, and I do not appear anywhere on the court's public docket. I was handed a handwritten note from a deputy district attorney on Friday and told to appear Tuesday morning. He also appears to have posted that note. A punishment hearing in criminal court that is not even assigned a case number, seemingly because they do not want this to be public information. Love me or hate me, this should concern you. The fact that this is happening in our criminal court system is terrifying. That is why I'm going public before the hearing tomorrow, which I will not be attending, so that the public and the press are aware of what is happening. Here is the backstory. Recently, I testified on 2 separate days as a witness before a grand jury. When I was served with the subpoena for the first day of testimony, 2 detectives came to my door at 6 a.m. and instructed me to immediately call the deputy district attorney. She told me that because I was now a grand jury witness, I was no longer allowed to speak about this case and that it would be illegal if I did. This put me in an impossible position. I have a client directly related to this case. If I cannot speak to my client, I am violating my professional duty. This was the entire point of calling me as a grand jury witness. It was a strategy used to try to silence me. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has publicly spoken about a similar silencing strategy being attempted against their office. Then I did my research on the law, spoke to lawyers, and found out I was being lied to. Here is the critical fact. In California, witnesses to a grand jury do not have a general obligation of secrecy. That obligation applies to the jurors and officers of the court. A witness is only bound to secrecy regarding anything they learn solely from the grand jury proceeding. It does not apply to anything they already knew before testifying or anything learned outside the grand jury. I want to pause here because many people are going to search this online, and Google AI is likely going to give them the wrong answer by claiming that witnesses must remain completely silent. If you click through to the actual sources it cites, you will see that the AI summary is incorrect. California law is silent on imposing total secrecy on witnesses. Instead, witnesses are routinely admonished that they may not disclose certain things, but those certain things only include what was learned from the grand jury proceeding itself, not independent knowledge or publicly known facts. In 1983, the California Attorney General issued a written opinion on this exact issue for legal clarification. It is very clear. I have attached screenshots of that opinion. I also want to be very clear about this. I never disclosed my testimony, even though the law would have allowed me to discuss my own testimony. I never publicly disclosed that I was a witness before the grand jury, not once and not twice. Instead, the deputy district attorney abused the power of the grand jury process in an apparent attempt to silence me. I was told that I broke the law, and I was given a handwritten note telling me to appear in criminal court for a contempt hearing. There is no summons, there is no case number. The matter does not appear on the public docket. There is no documentation outlining what I am accused of so that I can respond. I was also told that if I left town, I had to be back by Tuesday morning. I wrote a detailed letter to both the judge and the deputy district attorney explaining my position. They have had that letter since Friday afternoon. I received no response. With a hearing just hours away and the threat of a contempt charge hanging over my head in what appears to be a secret off-the-books court proceeding, I had no choice but to go public so that the people and the press are aware of what is happening. This is the only way I can protect myself from what I believe to be an abuse of power. It is frightening that this is happening at the highest levels of our court system. There is power in transparency. I was left no choice. So
And then you had another FBI agent, well, an FBI agent, because he's not one. He was an ex-police officer, ex-detective, or whatever the hell. You have a FBI agent turned investigator himself, and he slightly throw him up under the bus like, what the hell are you doing?
What did you take away from that? His fight back against this, and this idea that also law enforcement and the DA's office, they're trying seemingly to not release any information about what's going on right now.
Well, as a former law enforcement officer and somebody who's a private citizen, if I'm asked to participate or assist in finding justice for a child, I'm going to do it. And I'm also a licensed private investigator, which is part of the code of ethics that private investigators in California are under. You know, arguably, you can make that argument where they have to cooperate with law enforcement. But the post was so long, and you have to take a step back and say, what was the harm to him to go back and testify and support this investigation and do what he needed to do and cooperate? If law enforcement asked me as a PI, hey, can you just keep it down a notch and just stay quiet while we get through this, I'm absolutely going to do that. And I'm going to tell them whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do. So to his point about he was blindsided by this, it appears to me they were kind of giving him a heads up before they did serve him with a summons to come down. That's what that note was about. But of course, we're only speculating at this point because I haven't talked to this Mr. Fisher about what really happened.
So many eyeballs on this, a lot of speculation. We want the family to have answers. What is the biggest danger to an investigation, to potential charges, if information is released at this time?
Well, you basically have two reasons. One is a media reason, in my opinion, is basically they don't want to fuel the fire of all the speculation and conspiracy theories and all this. And so they want to kind of keep everything close to the vest. They've been through this. You know, LA DA's office is the center of high profile crime. The second reason is based upon what's in the ME report, it might tip off somebody who doesn't know they're under suspicion. And so they want to make sure they keep all that to themselves so they have an opportunity to perhaps talk to everybody and they're not tipped off.
There are individuals who believe in the Constitution, right? That Fourth Amendment, searches, seizures, and all that, right to privacy and all of this shit. And what I understand Steve Fisher to be saying is, I ain't doing none of this shit. First off, y'all didn't even do it properly. And then you gonna threaten me with jail when you don't even have the power? You should have said, please, bitch. That's how it sounded to me. It didn't sound like anything other than, it's like, respect me as a person, respect my craft, because y'all was too damn lazy. And I said something in a video I said previously about David was, bruh, what's today's date? Today is what, the 11th? The 10th. Okay, today is the 10th. What do we say? We said, bro, between the 6th and the 16th, that the medical examiner's office was going to send back the shit that they had. And you know what the freaking police did? They hollered at him and they told him, don't do shit when your ass finds stuff out. Why is that important? Because it's all about how the bones were disseminated, meaning how it was. Were they broken? Naturally broken, which would show splints and all that stuff. Picture, once again, picture a branch, take a branch, boom, even if you break the branch clean. If you break the branch clean, it's still going to show little irregularities in the splints. But when you get a knife, boy, that knife, it cuts real nice. And so that leads people to believe what? Foul play, murder. But they had to figure everything out, which means the medical examiners definitely came up there and testified. For sure. Probably was the third witness called. Then what ended up happening? They found out somebody who had either, and I don't believe he moved the car. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense. But then it does make sense. The first time I thought about it, like, nah, that don't make sense, bruh. about that damn car. Because if he knew it was a body in the car, then what the hell was that all about? Then I started to think about it. What if he actually moved that car and did not know? And they said, why didn't you say shit? Because he like, nigga, y'all have found out anyways. That's where it makes sense to me. Like, I'm supposed to call y'all because I'm the last person who transported that car. I didn't think I had to. Shit, I didn't know there was no body in there, so why am I calling y'all? Like, what the hell? When I didn't know there was no damn body in that vehicle. And let's think about it further. Why would you come out and say, yeah, bro, I moved the car with a dead body in it? I didn't know the body was dead. So then they're going to pester you and blast you. They're going to say, well, when did you realize there was a body in the car? I never knew until I seen it on the news. So then when you seen it on the news, why didn't you call us? I didn't know it was my duty. Shit, y'all already got the dead body. You already got the person. You already got your people of interest from what everything I see. The internet then damn near figured it out. And I'm not saying he said that last part, but I can see him being the person who moved the vehicle, not even knowing, bruh, they used your ass. That's what just makes the most sense to me. But what about you? What y'all think? Curious to read exactly what y'all got to say. I know we getting this one in late or some y'all early in the morning. I know y'all like this shit over here to reload the channel, bro. It's cracking over here, ain't it? All the damn hobbies, right? It's cracking over here. But yeah, nah, for real, on a serious note, y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this. I'd be curious to read it. Y'all believe my theory or do y'all got a different theory, a far better theory that I can steal and make a video about? Nah, y'all ain't got one. Or maybe you disagree, man. Yeah, nah, I drew that conclusion when your dumb ass said that shit the first time. I just didn't want to call you an idiot, Seti Nash. But I'm glad you figured it out, bro. Thank you. So if you're one of those people, I appreciate you for not clowning me on the video. Click right here, though, to find out how YNW Melly trial starts next month and we didn't even know about it. Click right here, click right here, click right here, or click right here for the playlist because y'all like what we do better over here. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Reload it.